Hey guys, happy Cake Tuesday everybody. I'm really excited. We are making a super cute chipmunk cake, and I want to tell you before I get started, if you see me looking off to the side, it's because I have my little cake photo over here I'm trying to reference to make sure that it looks like the picture as much as I can. I hope you guys are doing okay. I'm so happy that you're here. We're gonna have a great time. So I'm gonna get started here. I have my cake board ready. I'm going to actually be making this with some vanilla cakes. So I'm just gonna kind of unwrap my cakes here. And I will say I'm doing everything here, so except for making the chipmunk. I'm gonna do everything live so you guys can see how to make this cool looking cake. And what I love about it is that it really looks neat how the little chipmunks look like they are in the actual tree, which I think is cool. Now, I say these are chipmunks because of their stripes. I don't think they really look like squirrels, so. Anyway, now what I'm gonna do is just kind of stack my cake here. And it's kind of thawing out a little bit. This is what I want it to do. I want to make sure it's more room temperature than not, because I do have to carve the cake a little bit. So it's been sitting out for a little while, and I'm just trying to make sure that it is ready to go. Just kind of stacking my cakes here. And here. Getting frosting all over the place. Okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna squish it all down because I do kind of want it to be a little bit shorter. Not super tall, but tall enough. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cover this in buttercream. Now none of this buttercream is gonna show because it's all going to be covered with fondant. But I will say I might have it so that the top is going to be seen, and just kind of try to keep with a nice color pattern there. So essentially what it's going to look like is a tree trunk. It's going to be really cool looking. And I'm excited. This one was fun. Like, I saw all the different kinds. Like you guys had said, there were like a bunch of people wanting the apple orchard cake too. It was really close. It was really close. What's up, Laura? How are you doing? How are you? Aw. Y'all, hasn't it just been glorious outside? Absolutely. It really has been special. And it's like the perfect fall weather. It's not super cool, but it's like just right, you know? Nice little breeze and everything. It's wonderful. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to cover this guy up so that it's pretty smooth, so that when I put the fondant around it, it's going to really stick nice and easily without a whole bunch of lumps and bumps. Right, so just trying to get to where it's pretty decently smooth. Okay, now for the top of the cake, I'm going to just kind of add a little bit of my color here. I'm trying to go for like a little bit of like a tannish beige color. I'm putting a small drop of some yellow food coloring and a little bit of some brown, just a tiny bit, you guys, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that nice tan color, and it comes with adding a little bit of yellow with a little bit of some brown, so you can pick up on the different shades. And I'm going to do the same thing around when I'm doing the fondant. I'm going to use the same kind of color scheme for the outside of the tree as well. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do, since I pretty much have the color that I'm gonna go with on the top, I'm going to kind of add the distress for the tree. So here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wipe off this excess kind of buttercream here, and I'm going to add some of a brown color to it, but I'm gonna kind of paint that on. So what I'm gonna use is this little tool here. It's kind of like it's a ruler, but it just has a bunch of little ridges on it. I use this for a lot of different things. And so this is what I'm gonna use here to just kind of get just some nice little ridges to make it look like a tree stump, okay? And it's kind of cool because like the more you work it, the more you work with it, the more it kind of transforms into a nice kind of looking like a little bit of a tree stump here. Now I do have a little bit of this brown on top of my brush. Hopefully you guys can see that there. But I'm just gonna kind of add that to distress. And a little bit over here. And the more I add to it, the more it's just kind of coming together. I think that's pretty cool how that looks. I don't want to do too much, but I want to do enough so that it looks like it's different. We've got different tones in here, and we have different layers of the color. So when you're working with a figure, or if you're trying to make something look realistic, you want to make sure you get the shades and the colors down, and then you also want to make sure that you get the I'm trying to remember the word. When you're trying to get the dimensions down, and you're trying to get the shading right, and you also want to get the textures. There's the word, textures. Okay, so much that goes into it. But the more you do it, the more you kind of develop an eye for it. So, okay. All right, so here we go. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my fondant. Got a package of fondant here. Oops, it gave me a nice excuse to run to Hobby Lobby this morning. So, all right, I'm going to take this out now. This is more than what we'll need to cover the outside of this cake, but I'm gonna go ahead and color all of it. Well, I'm gonna take a little bit out for the leaves. Okay, so maybe we'll take about this much out for the leaves, but the rest of this we're gonna go ahead and color to look the same kind of brown color. So I'm adding a tiny little hint of this golden yellow, and then I'm also gonna add a little bit of this brown just to get that nice kind of tan color. Tan with little bits of shades of the yellow. Happy birthday! I miss you. I miss you so much. Aw, is your addiction is cake? Yeah, I know how you feel. Having a sweet tooth is a hard thing because all you want to do is eat cake, right? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Laura. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the base color, and with all of the painting, we're going to really get it to look like the tree. So the painting is going to be the big guy here. That's what we're going to be working with a lot. Sorry, like I said, you'll see me over here because I have my little cake picture. So I'm trying to compare, trying to make sure I'm getting my colors right. I want to make them look very similar to the picture. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll out. I'm probably gonna take a piece off. I'm gonna roll this out in sections, okay? I'm gonna roll this out in sections. I'm trying to make sure that my little guys aren't gonna appear on camera just yet. I have them here off to the side. They're so cute. So I am just rolling out this fondant. And guys, let me tell you my story about fondant, okay? I used to hate fondant. When I didn't know how to use it, when I didn't work with it, I despised it. Now let me tell you, I tried to make my own fondant. There are recipes where you can make your own marshmallow fondant. Oh, it tastes so much better. But what happens is it develops something that they call elephant skin. So what that is it just dries and it cracks and it's harder to work with. So I feel like, you know what, if you're gonna work with it, you know, you might as well just use the store-bought. I know that's not conventional advice, but you know, if you don't like to kill yourself in the kitchen, like me, then you just wanna go for the easier route. You know, fondant, in my opinion, like fondant is, it all, either you like it or you don't like it. And if you don't particularly care for it, you don't need to go through all the fuss. Just, you know, peel it off before you eat the cake. So, but then I have customers who are like, I love fondant. I love the taste of it. So it goes both ways. All right. So what I've done here is I have just kind of pulled, got a little bit of some color underneath, that's okay. I have kind of flattened out a piece of fondant here, and I'm wanting to really make sure that I have these top pieces kind of all around the top of the cake, just kind of rigid up at the top. I really want to keep that rigid kind of look, and it's going to look a little bit lumpy. That's to be expected. We kind of want some of those lumps. We want it to look like a tree. And you know, a real tree, it's not always so perfect, right? So I do have this little piece here I want to actually purposefully leave there because I want it to kind of look like a little bit of the roots kind of coming out of the side. Okay, I'm gonna roll this again and do the other half. All while I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping these nice little ridges up at the top. And that is gonna be really nice because it kind of gives it that rough detailing that kind of makes it look like a rustic tree. I feel like that is really, it's really fun when we can actually get that look. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Rebecca. Thanks for watching. Fun. So here I am just trying to kind of smooth this out. Again, you don't have to focus on it being super smooth and pretty like if you're doing a traditional wedding cake with fondant. Yeah, those you have to pay close attention to make sure when you're rolling out your fondant, it is perfect looking, okay? But here we're not worrying about those details. It's actually nice to not have to worry about those details. But, okay. So here, now what we're gonna do, come over to this side here and just kind of put this up against the top of the cake, making sure we're keeping some of that up at the top here just to keep that kind of lip hanging over. That is really important here for this cake. And I'm just kind of keeping some of this to look like some roots hanging out. And again, I can always add to that. I can always add to the texture to make it look like roots. It's really fun when you can take your time to just kind of make those little details. So I'm kind of taking my time right here to just kind of press this fondant. So you can see, trying to press the fondant here just to kind of use my fingers just to kind of mold what looks like little roots, little bumpy roots all along the side of the cake. and roots here, even coming upwards in the top of the tree trunk, coming down. So what we're going to do now is we're trying right now to shape our cake. So we're trying to get it to be shaped into with all of the roots and everything before we start painting. It's really important that you get everything, every detail done before you start painting, because when you start painting your cake, you really, pretty much everything is kind of hands off at that point. You can't really add very much more, you know, shape to the cake without causing a little bit more of, you know, you might make a little more trouble for yourself if you are trying to shape your cake at that point. So here, still just going with some roots. Now I'm trying to look here to find out where I'm kind of wanting my front to be, and I kind of feel like this is a good place right here in the front, right here in this part of the cake, because I want to have enough space to put my chipmunks. So this place kind of looks ideal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tool here, and I'm just going to kind of help to make little ridges all up and down the cake. So this is nice when you're dealing with this kind of fondant, because it's very, very forgiving, and you can just kind of go in and just kind of make your little strokes around. It really helps to make the cake kind of come to life. And so here, if you see, I'm pulling the buttercream, I'm pulling the fondant, the fondant from the tip of the root all the way up, and just kind of creating that nice tree look. I feel like the more you work with this kind of thing, the better it looks, the more realistic, because when you look at a tree, there is so much detail that is on a tree. So all the years that it's been growing, you see all the beautiful parts to a tree, and now, you know, putting that into a cake, you want to have it look very like a distressed look. You want it to look very realistic. So you just keep on using your tool. Being careful not to pierce the fondant, you guys, because that can happen. You just want to be careful to not pierce it. Okay, so you use your tool. Sometimes you might want to use the side of the tool. You might want to use the back of the tool, but when you're actually using this part, you want to be careful not to scrape and indent into the fondant. If it happens, it's okay with this kind of cake, because you can kind of patch it, but you want to try to not have to do that. Okay? Trying to get a lot more of this detail. Now, another thing you can do, which is what I might try to do here, is use my little cake comb here. This is going to help speed up the process a little bit, and also kind of get some of that color. It's totally fine onto the cake, because that is what we're going to do for the next step. We are going to get some nice, we're going to get some nice coloring added to this cake. Now up here along the edges here, we're just going to kind of pinch the fondant to kind of thin it out a little bit, because what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to just kind of create those nice little ruffled pieces that kind of make it look like it's like an actual tree trunk. So have those nice little distressed edges. Like I said, before we start to paint, we want to make sure that we have everything ready as much as we can to make it look like the actual tree trunk. And you'll see as we add the details, as we add the paint, it's really going to come alive and really look really cool. Okay. Hey Tanya, what's up, girlfriend? I'm gonna be seeing you in a little bit when I drop my kids off to karate. So here, okay, another part with this cake. Now you'll see there is a part of the cake where there is a little chipmunk nestled inside, which is cool, but it's gonna take a little bit of some work to actually do that. So what I'm gonna do is here, I'm looking at the front of the cake and where I'm gonna make my cut. I'm gonna just go ahead and pierce this here, hoping that my cake is actually thawed enough, because I have to be able to cut the cake itself to get the design that I'm looking for. And it has to be big enough to where the whole little head that I made is gonna fit inside, so it's gotta be deep enough. Y'all see that? That's the cut that I made. Here, I'm just gonna pinch that off and take this buttercream out as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this out. We want it to be a nice, deep cut in the cake, okay? I think that's a good amount. That's like perfect. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill this up with some of the extra fondant that we have, and just kind of take it and just kind of put it inside. Now, this isn't gonna really show, okay, not really. I'm actually gonna paint this a dark color inside to make it look like a little crevice, like a nice little, sorry guys, I was getting a phone call. Hey Linda, if you want to do a cake decorating class, just message me. If you want to do a private class, totally just message me. We can work that out. I have a lot of cake classes coming up in the winter months, so if you want to come to one of my actual classes, you can keep a lookout on my Facebook. If you're wanting to book a private class, just message me. And I actually have an adorable pumpkin patch cake class coming up next weekend. And so it's not too late to get your tickets if you guys want to come. That is going to be so much fun. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And then guys, I am telling you, it has been an awesome season, doing a lot of cake things, a lot of weddings. It's a wonderful wedding season, and I've been doing a lot of singing, and a lot of speaking. So I've been going out and doing a lot of traveling in surrounding areas, and it has been so much fun. So it's really, really been a special time. I've really been enjoying myself. Okay. So what I'm doing here, guys, just in case you're just tuning in, I am trying to take the little crevice that we made, the little hole in the tree trunk. I'm trying to take the fondant and I'm just blending it. I'm taking my tool and I'm just going in and blending it with the fondant that's already there to try to make it look like it is all just connected. So it's all just one, it's all connected there. So here, that's what you're seeing. Some of this stuff just takes time, guys. Just takes time, and it just takes some patience and a little know-how, and you can do amazing things. So here, okay. So here we go. It looks, it looks pretty much like there's a hole in the tree. That is awesome. All right, so at this point, I feel like my tree trunk is done. So I'm gonna go in and start with some of this painting, okay? And I'm using my fan brush, and I'm just kind of creating some nice distress to this cake. So it just takes some time to do this portion. One thing that I'm gonna try to do here, I was gonna say I wanted to add some copper, but actually if you look at this photo, it's more of a brown, it's not really a copper. The copper comes from the actual chipmunks. They are what make the copper tones in this, and the leaves. That's what makes the copper tones in this cake. So I'm just going in with my little brush. I got me a bigger brush so I can just kind of make the nice distresses here, nice distress look. Now it's not all brown. Like I said, a lot of this tree is actually pretty tan. So you get a lot of that color underneath. You still want to keep it. You don't want to make it all too dark. But just coming in with some nice shading is really great. It really just helps to make the cake come alive. It really is neat. And an airbrush is nice. It's a nice tool you can use too. But I find sometimes for like work like this, you know, an airbrush only, or like if you're using like a spray can, it only gets but to some parts. Like it doesn't do the detail that you really do. This is something that you really ought to do by hand. It really makes a difference. So you see, as we're shading, it's really starting to come to life to look like a tree. It's really, really cool. Inside the hole, I am going to make that black so that the little chipmunk will really stand out in there. Okay, I'm getting a lot of that shading going on. And now I'm gonna have to start coming in with my actual smaller brush, because I'm going to try to do some details here with some of the grooves. You wouldn't think all that goes into making a tree, into making a tree trunk, but it does. A lot of it goes into it. You want it to look really, really legit, really, really pretty. Okay, so I've got a brush. I'm going to use a brush that has, yeah, something like this here, because I really want to be able to grab the tops of this trunk and really kind of highlight those with this chocolate brown color. That looks really cool. So you really can get that distressed kind of look all along the tops. That's really important. See, I don't know if you guys, you guys probably can't see so much, but you see that kind of distressed kind of look there? It's really nice because you're able to actually differentiate where the top is. Now that's the crevice in there, that's the hole. We got to paint that black so that the little guy will stand out. But now where you know, there's some of these lines and stuff, I'm trying to get in there with a deeper color. And that just gives it another dimension. So like where we have these other lines, I'm trying to get in there with a deeper color, and then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna smooth them out with my fluffy brush. But that's how you can get it to look really cool. You get the really dark paint inside the crevices, and then you're just gonna blend it out. Same thing up through here. I just want it really, especially where this little guy's gonna be hanging out, I really want the cracks to really look deep and dark. So I'm just gonna hang out here for a minute and just kind of go in and just really spend some time to get that looking really dark. And I'm gonna bring it close so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is such a cool technique because it's just, there's so much you can do with it. It's really exciting to see it all come together too. So I'm gonna come in with this brush one more time. Try to get all the way up to the top a little bit so that, one more time, just kind of go through. Get it all the way up to the top. Okay. Now for the top where the little hole is, we're just gonna add a lot of character here. Just gonna take our time to kind of hang out here for a minute. All right, now we're gonna paint the hole, okay? So, I know I said black, but I don't know, if I use a lot of this chocolate brown, it's pretty much the same difference. So I'm just gonna kind of get a lot of that in there and just kind of take my time to press it in and make sure that it's actually in. Okay. Wow, guys, looks like we got a hole in the tree. Y'all see that? I don't know, you really can't see too much. Sometimes you can't see as much definition and all that on camera. It just doesn't do it justice. But looks like a tree. Okay. All right. So now we got this tree part done, the tree trunk. Now it's pretty easy from here. So we've got Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. I saw somebody comment that. I was like, that's cute. Okay, so we'll start with the guy on the top, the little cutie on top. And I'm gonna see if I can get him. Isn't he adorable? The cute little chipmunk. So, I have him, I'm gonna put his tail down and kind of have him right here. There he goes. And I have this other little guy who is right here. Isn't he so cute? He looks like he's looking up to the sky and the stars. I'm gonna put him here off to the side. And then I've got one more. And this is the little guy that is gonna be peeking out of the tree. So, just a head. I didn't need to make the whole body. He's got a little arm that's gonna be looking like he's poking out. So, I'm just gonna try to wiggle him in. Just really be careful to wiggle him in. I'm just gonna press him in a little bit here. All right, he looks like he's trying to escape. Only thing is like, I think in the, well, I could probably do that. I'm looking at him and he looks like he's kind of coming out versus in the photo, he kind of looks like he's in a little bit more. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a tiny little branch to him to just make him look like he's in a little bit further. Just gonna add a little bit of a branch between these two guys. Yeah, there we go. So he looks like he's a little more inside the tree. And yeah, so now all I gotta do is kind of add some of that color here. Oops. Just a little bit here, just, it's not too difficult, because when you get the design and you know where you're going and you know you got your colors already set, it's just a matter of repeating the same thing, okay? So I'm just gonna take my fluffy brush and kind of add some more depth to this. Okay. Oh my gosh! Oh man, it's really coming along, huh? So I'm going to actually put some little leaves on this cake too. So while this is hanging out here, I'm going to add, thanks for the hearts, guys. I'm gonna add some leaves. So what I'm gonna do is this really pretty orange color is the color of the leaves that I am seeing on this photo. And it looks like a really nice, rich, kind of orange color. So I'm just gonna take some of my fondant that I have here, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of some orange to make that nice, pretty, rich orange color. Okay. So now, I mean, this is not orange enough. We really want it to really be that nice, rich orange color. So I'm adding more of this food coloring here. And the thing about these leaves is they're really realistic looking, and they have that kind of, they're very thin. So I'm gonna have to roll them out to make that nice leaf color, a nice leaf shape. I'm adding some more because my fondant got a little wet. So I'm gonna add some more. Keep on mixing. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put this down, and I'm gonna roll it out. I'm gonna add even a little bit more because I'm noticing it really is too tacky. When it comes to fondant, you wanna make sure it's not too sticky to work with, because that is no fun. Spend a lot of time trying to fix a problem that could be remedied by just adding a little more fondant or getting your hands where they are dry. So, paper about there. If I need it to be any darker in portions, I can paint it, but this is a nice base. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add, I'm just gonna take maybe a little bit at a time, just a little bit of this fondant. I'm just gonna roll it out, and I'm gonna cut me some leaves. And I have my leaf imprint. And what I'm gonna do is I'm probably going to, yeah, this fondant is way too sticky. I gotta add more fondant so that it's not so sticky. If you have trouble even cutting basic shapes in your fondant, then it is time to get some either powdered sugar. Powdered sugar is great, you can add to it, or you will want to add some drier fondant to it. Okay, all right. It's a little marbleized, I don't care. I'm gonna add, I'm gonna be painting it anyway, so it's fine. I have my imprint, but I almost feel like I just want to freestyle these leaves by hand and just cut them out myself. It's probably what I'll just go ahead and do. So I have my X-Acto blade here. I'm just gonna kind of cut these leaves. Hope you guys can see. Can you guys see me cutting? I'm just gonna kind of cut, just kind of make these little maple looking leaves, or these little, I don't know, they're really maple leaves. I don't think these are maple leaves. I think these are just leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 altogether. So I'll probably just make a few. Maybe I'll do 4. because some of them look like they're a little crinkled and all that. Okay, so before I stick them onto the cake, I am going to use my tiny little brush here. It's tiny. You see how small? I'm going to paint the stem, the little veins to the leaves. Detailed work, guys, but it really makes a beautiful cake when you're done. Painting out the veins and all that, that's the stuff that takes time. But it yields such a beautiful cake. And it's so much nicer when you have it versus when you don't, so. Make it one small stroke. Here. Okay, this is why I'm only doing 3, because take me forever off camera. So I'm just going to do these 3 here so you guys can see. All right. Now, I have some of this orange and I have a little bit of a fluffy brush. I kind of want to add a little bit of some color to the tips of the leaf. You guys can't really see too much, but I'm trying to add some color to the tips of the leaf. I really like that bright orange hue. And I'm just trying to make it look like it's, you know, a little distressed kind of looking, but, or a little natural looking, because the leaves have so many different beautiful pigments to them. And I feel like if you have just one flat shade, it's always nicer when you have some extra color added to your leaves. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm probably going to add maybe this little leaf right here. Peel it off my glove. But yeah, nice little leaf right here. That's cool because they all look kind of crinkled, you know, which is neat. But I'm gonna add a little bit of some more shading here, the orange shading. I've got another little leaf on this other side. I think I'm just gonna put them in place and then I'm gonna add the color to them after they are in place. I'm taking some of that extra orange off of there and rubbing into my hand so that kind of like a just little palette so that it's not all one place, but you see the orange all throughout. Okay, and then I'm gonna do one more. I'll probably put one here on the bottom, just to make it look really cool. Now I'll add the rest of the shading here. A little bit of that orange. Really makes it look nice. Okay. I love it. I love the little crinkly leaves. It looks really a lot more realistic than just the regular flat leaves, right? So one last thing I'm gonna do with this cake. I could have added some little gravel bits to the bottom. I might do that off camera, I might not. I might just leave it the way it is. But I want to make a couple little acorns. I just feel like, you know, it's on a cake, I might as well make them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna I'm gonna make it with this, a little bit of this brown, and just kind of roll it together to make some dark colored acorns here. Be careful not to add too much because then it'll be too sticky. But right now, just adding it so that we can get that nice chestnut pigment. And we can probably add some paint to it so that it actually looks like a real little acorn. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make 3 little acorns. Whoops. Just gonna kind of roll this guy here. There's one. There's another one. 2. And here's the last little acorn. I'm gonna add, there we go, there's 3. Now what I'm gonna wanna do here before I stick them on the cake is I'm gonna use my nice little fan brush and just kind of go in and kind of paint them to give them that natural acorn look. See my little acorns? I'm just gonna stick them around. I'm probably gonna use a little toothpick to stick this little guy right on the edge. It looks like that's what that little chipmunk is after. That little acorn. Okay. I got a couple more to go. I'm trying to make that little distressed look because the base, it kind of is a little bit of a, like a copper color, which is good because this way it looks like more realistic with the coloring. I'm not adding the little top piece, but for those other 2, but I think for this one I will. I'm just gonna make a nice little indent here with my nail and just kind of make it look like the top of the acorn and just kind of flatten it out. Pull a little, pinch a little piece there at the top to make it look like an actual acorn. Y'all see that? Okay, and this little one, we can just, I don't know, and put it over here by this leaf, over here on the side. And there you have it. I am all done. All done. Super exciting cake, guys. This little chipmunk cake is so cute. Do you see them? Look how happy they are. It looks like fall everywhere on this cake. But they're all so happy, these little cute chipmunks going after little acorns. It was fun to make with you guys today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I've got to get going, but I'm so glad that you all were here to watch this. And I'm so glad that you guys picked this cake. It is so amazing. I'm giving you another heart. God bless you guys. This was so fun. Have an amazing, wonderful day. See you next time.